Kia ora, good morning. I uploaded a video last night about the opening credits for Where the Teeny Tiny Folk Live, and I took it down because I've changed everything, and I had uploaded the wrong one and deleted the right one, so I have to do it again, but I've changed everything, so it's all different how I want it now. I mean, it's kind of the same, but it's kind of different. The video, everything's all changed. And I was saying in my video, when things like that happen, it's always God in the universe's way of saying, do it again. So when I accidentally delete something or I lose something or I forget something, I always know it's God's way of saying, do it again. So I don't stress about it. If I accidentally delete videos or forget, my mind goes blank or anything like that, I don't stress about it because I know that it wasn't good enough. I'm only allowed to put out there, see, the better I do in my training, the better I please my father, the better I please my brothers and sisters up there, and my ancestors, the more they allow me to unlock the secrets of the universe. They're going to allow me to, enter the space race and all of that, and I need to earn the right to be there. So obviously I'm the dutiful student, and I know that when things like that happen, they're telling me it wasn't good enough, do it again, because everything that they feed me is going to be making money to help the most vulnerable souls on the planet, from Indigenous people to the forgotten children, the unheard children, the unsafe children, the unheard masses who are accused of being mentally ill when they're not. They're just smarter than the average bear. Not to say there aren't mentally ill people out there, because trust me, there are. Because it's going to be helping veterans and first responders and getting homeless men off the street and all of that, they will only let me produce the best, and they put my sons here to make sure that that happens as well, because Thomas will not let me produce a game or a movie that he doesn't agree with, and that kid knows his stuff, trust me, he does, especially when it comes to what he calls classic Hollywood, Commando and Predator and all of RoboCop and that, that's his forte. I'm giving the kid his own radio show. He knows what he's talking about. That's why he's my writing and my entertainment, video games, movie partner. Anything to do with games and movies, he's my right-hand man. Whereas with Gabriel, my youngest, it's my food. He will not let me put anything on the shelf or put anything out there for sale that people are going to eat that he doesn't approve of. Him and my neighbour Liam, they know their sixth senses are phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Especially smell and taste. Like $1 million senses. So, I have to get it right, because when I'm a good girl, they feed me Scooby treats. That's what I call them. I get Scooby snacks. And we've only just begun with this new level of ability that I have, so now I want to play with it and see what I can do with it. So I need to get this right. So the opening credits, it's going to start with a model overview of the Kelly Forest, and then it's going to zoom into the grandmother tree. Now, the thing is with the grandmother tree, it's representative of, obviously, the tree of life, the female bloodline, because you're carried in your grandmother, and you carry your grandmother inside your DNA, whether you're male or female. Your grandmother is in there. She's a part of you. And, like us girls, we keep our grandmother in our ovaries, and, because she's the one that plants the seed. The woman, as I was saying in my video about parents, the woman is the one that plants the seed that grows the forest. However, the man, if you want to look at it from a metaphorical point of view, would be the soil. And where she plants her soil, where she allows her seed to grow, is going to determine whether her forest becomes bountiful and, rich. My tribe, Ngā Te Raukawa, means rich leaf, rich green, rich plant, because the Raukawa tree, which is, I have it tattooed on the oak tree on the back of my neck. My tattoo on the back of my neck is the oak tree to represent my Callaghan ancestry, my dad's side, and trees, male trees, protect the female trees. They gather around the female trees, especially the smaller ones, and they protect them. And because we know trees can talk, they communicate with each other, they have their own language. This has been proven. Well, Indigenous people know what they're saying. We understand how important trees are, which is why, and with a little help from my friends, they're fighting to stop the Kelly Forest from being bulldozed, and the Lewis is protecting the animals and trying to save the Kelly Forest from loggers and all of that, because Jeb wants to take over all the 7 kingdoms. So when you climb up the grandmother tree, you end up in the part of the Kelly Forest where I wrote, with a little help from my friends. When you climb down the grandmother tree, you end up at inside Anahita's cottage. So, because, I've been dreaming about the grandmother tree since I was 4 or 5 years old. She's been growing with me as I go. And the best friend, Luca, the Wolf King, the Callaghan coat of arms is an oak forest with a wolf coming out of it. So I grew up a Callaghan. So I grew up with the protection of Luca. I call him Luca, our ancestral wolf. So wolves mean everything to me as a totem, because I've always been safe. I've always been protected. It doesn't matter what situation I've been put in my life, and trust me, I've been put in quite a few. I mean, I went out drinking with a serial killer in Masterton. I swear to God, I went out drinking when I was like 18, 19 years old. I went out drinking in Masterton in New Zealand with a man who 7 days, like a week later, 7 days later, went on to kill 7 members of his family. Kids, mum, all of that. I showed my boys the article. I'll put a link in the description box below. I went out drinking with that man a week before he did it. So I've got some stories to tell. But like I mean, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of times I've been stalked. I don't know what it is with even my well, I mean, he should know. I attract nutters. Yeah, he said it in his own words, but he's right. It's because high functioning creative empaths, we do, because our light is like addictive to lower vibration. You know what energy vampires are like? Well, we end up with far worse. People become so obsessed with us that they They study us and learn our behaviours and try to copy us to be our doppelgangers. And if you have a doppelganger, which as a high functioning creative empath you will, they're psychopathic, they're psychotic, they're the opposite of you, the mirrored version. And anything after the original is energetically off balance. So I have my tattoo. It's done in the style of Tim Burton, The Bark, because obviously he's one of my heroes. And stop motion. I've got a thing for stop motion. My son Thomas does as well. You'll see a lot of stop motion-esque style things popping up in a lot of things that we produce because I love stop motion. I'm fascinated by it since Ray Harryhausen, because obviously I grew up with horror movies, and those were his sort of movies, and that were usually on like on a Sunday. And it fascinated me, like King Kong, and yeah. So the tree, my oak tree, is kind of Tim Burton-esque. It's not finished yet because it ran out of money. It needs to be added to and zhuzhed and all of that. So it's kind of about 70% done. But it's supposed to look like when my hair's up. Excuse me. When I've got my hair like in a messy bun, and that, it's supposed to look like my hair is the actual like leaves of the tree, the branches and leaves and all of that. But it's to honour my ancestors. And it's my talisman. I've got my Māori ancestors on the front and my Irish ones at the back. But there's raukaua leaves that come off the bottom of the tree. Because you'll find the raukaua bush or the raukaua tree at the bottom of other trees and that. So the grandmother tree is in the grandmother tree that's in anything that I write is just, it's representative of all of that for all of us. The neurons of the brain, the DNA strand, Mother Earth, Axis Mundi, whatever, all of it. That's what the tree represents. That's what the grandmother tree represents. So I want to, the opening credits, it looks so amazing in my head. And the camera pans down through the Kelly Forest to the grandmother tree with a little help from my friends. And then the camera will go down the tree and zoom through the forest into Anahita's garden, where if you climb down the tree, that's where you end up. But this is going to take you through the forest and that, so you get it builds up the kids. It builds up an idea for the kids of what's coming. It takes them on that journey. So it's then going to go, to the leaves in the garden where, it's going to go under the leaves. There's going to be the sparkly gold, like glitter stuff, and then, the camera will zoom through that and it'll open up into the world of where the teeny tiny folk live. And then, obviously the theme tune will be singing over it. And then it'll start with a narrator. I'd really like my narrator to be British. I just think British accents do the best narration for children's story. I don't know if that's because that's what I grew up with, but I personally find it very soothing. I think children find British narrators in that for children's stories and that to be quite soothing. So I don't think the grandmother tree is going to be British. I'm pretty sure the grandmother tree is going to be indigenous or maybe Irish or, yeah, like indigenous. If I could get a Māori one, that would be brilliant. But, um, as long as she's can sound matronly and kind and gentle and wise. Um, so yeah, opening credits. I might. I kind of like the idea of having the opening credits being like, AHA style, moving coloured pencil graphics, where it's hand drawn, but like a flip book. Um, that's what I'm kind of seeing, which is the bit that I had to change because, yeah, I think I want the opening credits because then it's going to be quite like a burst to the synapses of the brain when it's watching the hand drawn coloured pencil graphics, and then it opens up into like a stop motion scene of, like a set with these little like knitted and felt characters in stop motion style, Postman Pat style, Timmy Time and all of that. It's not gonna. It's not going to be as artistically complex as Wind in the Willows. It's going to be, simplified. It's, for children sort of under about the age of 7. It's a lot more light-hearted and simplified than what I'm making it out to be, but you just have to go with me. You just have to bear with me. It's just that if you could see the post that I put up on X of the frog sitting with the teacup in the armchair and all of that, you'd know what I'm talking about, and it's actually very cute and not as artistically complex as Wind in the Willows, though the Wind in the Willows is absolutely my original inspiration for the idea. So, and I swear to God, I said to the boys, I'm going to be hysterical. They may need to tranquilise me. Because when we get to do Halloween and Christmas episodes of anything I've created, because I eventually, I want to be the channel that the kids and family and the big kids and that go to for Halloween and Christmas, just to watch our Halloween and Christmas channel, which will only be available during Halloween and Christmas, because I want it to be special for them. They'll only get to see these things at Christmas and at Halloween, because I loved that as a kid. It made Christmas exciting to know that we were going to get Christmas telly, and they were putting on like all the best like Christmas cartoons and Rankin Bass stuff and all of that. And because in New Zealand Christmas was summertime, and we didn't celebrate Halloween, which every kid in New Zealand really wished we would. So obviously when I came over here and married an American and was planning to move to America, and that, like, the thought of having proper Halloween's just, oh my God, I was born for Halloween and Christmas. I want to rule those two empires like you wouldn't believe. And I'm going to, mark my words. Even the boys know that I'm going to own this market because of the stuff that I've written. I know the mind of the kid and the kid at heart, so I know how to appeal to their imaginations and that when it comes to writing. So I want to bring that excitement back. where it's like the Halloween door opens for a month and then it closes for a year. And then the Christmas door opens for a month and then it closes for a year. And I want people to sit and wait for those doors to open and then have, like, Halloween party nights where they just binge watch our Halloween movies and our Halloween cartoons. And because that's what I do. I binge watch Halloween because it's research for me. I've spent years. I watch all the new stuff that comes out. Surprisingly, there are a lot of Halloween kids movies out there that nobody knows about, that are actually really, really brilliantly written, brilliantly done. They don't get the respect they deserve. I mean, there's some utter rubbish out there, people just trying to cash in, but there's some little hidden gem Halloween animated movies out there that are brilliant. There's even like the Tim Curry classic one about the witches school. Some hidden gems in that. So I've had to do a lot of research because obviously this is going to be an area I'm going into, and I want people to be just so excited when that portal gate opens, and you walk into our Christmas wonderland, which is why we need to build somewhere where it snows. We have to live somewhere where it snows. Snow is going to be a big money maker for me, which is why I keep going back to Canada, because we don't get snow here. Scotland barely gets snow anymore because it's not global warming, it's their weather machines. And I can't have that. I need to live where it snows. Like at least 45% of my revenue is relying on the Halloween and Christmas tourist market. So I'm going to have a chat to the boys and say, look, you can stay if you want when you're 18. Once they're 18, I can't tell them what to do. And Thomas is 18 in like a year and a half. So, yeah, but I need to build where it snows. And I just think Canada is our best option. Go back to the original plan. Stick to the original plan. I would love to live here, but the governments are never going to allow what we're creating to exist. Especially because it's me creating it. It's probably the least safest country for me to be in right now, until I get the money to leave, which is a shame because I really would love to do my space program here. I mean, it only seems fitting I'm naming the shuttles after Queen Elizabeth II, Reed Lil. The reason why Reed is because in the codes, when I was deciphering the physics for the codes of the warnings of what she said was coming with Starmer's government and all of that, and how it was going to try and destroy the monarchy, we called ourselves codename Lady in Red. That was her. And I was codename Golden Dragon. She's my Lil, so yeah. So I wanted to call the space shuttle Red Lil, because she helped take me there. She's helped her, working with her with those codes changed everything for me. So I'm honouring her, which is also why my production company is going to be called QE2, Queen Elizabeth II. It's what Australasians call Queen Elizabeth, QE2. It's just a short way of saying Queen Elizabeth II. So yeah, the old QE2. So it's also the name of a cruise ship, I think, the QE2. So that's me sailing, take me away. So Yeah, my son Thomas wants to learn to sail as well. Funny that. We're off. And yeah, it's my production company that's going to be making all our TV stuff, all our movie stuff at the foundation and that. So yeah, I'm just deciding what I want the hangers to look like. And I just, for some reason, I just keep thinking of World War II hangers. I don't know why I keep seeing World War II hangers. But like a couple of big ones and then smaller ones, and the smaller ones for being like, the stop motion, because obviously you don't need big sprawling stages and sets for stop motion. You just sort of need a bit of room to be able to move around with the cameras and tables. And yes, and any kids that want to learn to do that stuff, Kubo and the Two Strings, Box Trolls. I love all of it. I love it. Paranorman. Oh my God, Paranorman is my everything. If I could produce something like Paranorman with the Harvest Moon Goes Hunting, because I wrote the Harvest Moon Goes Hunting to sort of be like a short film version, like to pay my respects to Paranorman. And then of course there's like the Corpse Bride and Frankenweenie and all of that. Like I want to add to those. I want to add to that genre of Halloween artistic beauty, creative beauty. I just love it so much. I adore Tim Burton's stuff, like Edward Scissorhands and all of that. He was just he spoke my language. The Nightmare Before Christmas is Thomas's everything. He's been obsessed with that movie since he was like 2-3 years old. So he's got Jack Skellington plushies, and yeah, absolutely love it. It's our world. I can't wait. So yeah, I'm getting so excited because I can see it all. I can see clearly now the rain has gone. I'm so excited. Woohoo!